up, everybody? JT here, live from Star Wars Celebration. It is the Nerfherder Council, and just like everybody else under the sun, we're going to talk about the Episode 9 trailer because we've been drinking beer and because we can. So AJ is here with me, and we actually have somebody on the Moof Milker mic tonight, but the Moof Milker mic is sitting right across the table from us. It's our buddy Mark from Baltimore, and my wife Stephanie is here, but she doesn't really want to talk too much. And the reason
Moof Milker mic.
The Moof Milker mic is our fourth mic. But tonight you're on third mic, but it's still Moof Milker, so there you go. All right, so...
Yeah, pardon the noise. We are in the lobby of the Hyatt Regency McCormick Place right now. So
Surrounded by 501st members.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just us and about, 17 dozen of our closest friends all walking around here loving Star Wars right now.
Right. So... Obviously, everyone's seen it by now, and I apologize for my voice, by the way. It's just completely blown, but everyone knows by now the name of the movie, Episode 9, is The Rise of Skywalker, and I'm going to start this out on a low note. I personally, not a big fan of the title.
Why not?
I just think it's, not... The rumored title, Balance of the Force, I was a much bigger fan of. I thought that was cool. The Rise of Skywalker is not terrible. I'm just like, okay. But that's the only negative. The rest of the trailer was amazing.
Indeed it was.
So what did you think, dude?
Well, you see, I happen to like the name of the movie.
Okay.
I do want to wait until I see the movie before the title can make sense to me.
The one thing we could be...
What exactly does it mean?
The one thing we can be kind of confident in is we're not going to hear the name of the movie title in the movie this time.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to take points off of Episode 8 because once Luke says, "I will not be the last Jedi." Oh, God, come on, dude. Don't say the name of it right in the thing.
Well, how do you know they're not going to do that? We cannot allow the rise of Skywalker. No! They could still do that. You never know. I just, to me, the whole thing just seemed... my opinion of the trailer is a little jaded because we've talked about this on the show before. The trailers for all of the Disney-era Star Wars movies all turned out to be crap. By the way, we're not bleeping out swear words on this one, so there will be cursing. The Disney trailers have turned out to be bullshit. So, how much can we trust what's in this trailer? We can trust the obvious thing, which is Palpatine being back, because J.J. Abrams confirmed, he's in a movie. Himself, J.J. Abrams said that.
Freaking amazing.
So, was that your favorite part?
Definitely one of my most favorite parts of the trailer was hearing that cynical laugh.
Right.
But also seeing Lando piloting the Falcon or
that
whatever
was mine,
that was.
yeah.
That was big for me too.
Yep.
Dude, I don't know how they kept Palpatine's involvement a secret.
Well, and that leads you to think, what else do we not know?
Well, they got to wrap it all up in this one movie.
Right?
It's going to be 3.5 hours long.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Give me a Gods and Generals length Star Wars movie. Yes, please.
If Endgame can go 3 hours to wrap up 10 years of movies from Marvel, then we can definitely go 3 hours to wrap up 40 years of movies from Star Wars.
I totally agree. Yeah, I wonder what else is going to be in there because, Mark Hamill's not at Celebration, unless there's some big surprise that's coming. But you hear him in the trailer, so it's is he Force Ghost Luke, or did he actually not die? Are they going to retcon that? It's interesting. Because we don't. Once you're basically saying you're bringing the Emperor back, all bets are off. You don't know what the hell's going to come after that.
Well, speaking of bullshit from trailers. You cannot, just because you hear Luke Skywalker talking, doesn't mean anything about the fate of that character because Remember, there was a voiceover for Last Jedi trailers that didn't exist in the movie. And I think there was a voiceover from him in the Force Awakens trailers, too, if I remember. But definitely for Last Jedi, and it never actually happened in the movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, as great as this is, even before the trailer happened, I was sitting there thinking, whatever I see, I gotta take it with a grain of salt, because it's like, so much of it never happens. Or, they frame it in such a way that you think the story's going to the left, but it actually goes to the right, So, I'm super excited. I will say, excuse me, that the cool thing is that there were so many moments that were epic, like huge in scope, and all the actors and actresses have been saying that this movie is enormous. And you kind of got that feel, I thought.
Yeah, I'm getting a good vibe from what I've seen so far.
So that, like, the trailer actually got you, like, amped up, like...
It hit some chords.
Right?
Yeah.
I was really confused by it.
Okay, how so?
Well, like you said, we've heard, like, the scope and scale of this movie is just off the charts. And yet, half of the 2-minute trailer was spent with Rey and Kylo alone in a desert. The most barren,
yeah, but you don't know that was Kylo.
Small featured. Well, yeah, I mean, it was his ship at least. We think it looks like his ship.
Yeah.
We see gloves. We don't see his head.
See, that's what I do is I don't speculate.
Just like the Force Awakens trailer. And JT, you nailed this one when the Force Awakens trailer hit and we saw the Falcon flying through the desert. You're like, that's not Han. Han's not flying that ship.
And he doesn't fly like that.
And you were absolutely right. It was Rey with Finn on board. And that could be true. Like, just because it looks like Kylo's ship doesn't mean it's Kylo flying it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he saw his gloves on the thing or whatever. So maybe it is him.
I've already seen people speculating that Rey wasn't jumping over it. She was trying to jump on it to catch a ride. It's like,
that's what it kind of seemed like, because she ended up facing the same way as the ship at the end of the jump.
Well,
maybe it's the Emperor on there. Coming off that.
You just want this movie to be nothing but the Emperor, man.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's right.
You just want Palpatine running around just whooping ass on everybody.
I want to hear so many different things from the Emperor in this movie. Like, do it.
Yeah. Like, I'm alive, a-holes. Now I'm going to whoop everybody's ass for 2.5 hours.
Crass Emperor, that's what we want.
Yeah. Scratching his nuts under the robe and everything.
We want a rated R episode 9. Just F-bombs everywhere.
Oh, yeah. So, I gotta
Star
say,
Wars episode 9. Palpatine AF.
Yeah. So my favorite part was seeing Lando piloting the Falcon.
Yeah.
I was actually in Wintrust Arena, so I was there live in the room for it.
Yeah, what was that energy like?
It was crazy. I had a 10-year-old kid next to me asking me all these Star Wars questions, which was awesome. And I was wondering, like, why are you not asking your dad? So maybe dad's like a casual fan, and I must have given off that uber nerd vibe or something. I don't know. Like,
can't imagine how.
Yeah, right. But so the kid was asking me all these questions, and next to me was a married couple who damn near tackled me after the trailer. They were so amped up. It was just a total blast.
Yeah.
And they would show. Every time they would start talking to one of the actors, they would show a picture on the screen of what they looked like in the movie. And when they did the Lando one, we all just we were losing our minds.
Yeah.
Because it's Lando,
Yeah.
And especially to see him flying the Falcon, because the rumor is that he has a very small part in the movie. But if you're flying the Falcon, it can't be that small. Not like a 30 seconds of screen time type of thing.
But, having him back in the movie adds so much weight to the film.
Yeah.
And it really just anchors it and ties it all together with that original trilogy.
Do you worry that
They're going to make another Last Jedi? I do worry.
If you do that again, I swear to God, The Last Jedi is awesome, and you're wrong.
Yeah, okay.
Do you worry that they're relying a little too heavily on the original trilogy stuff? Like, it's almost like, well, there was so much, like, you know, the fans were so up in arms about Episode 8. I mean, you're a perfect example. You don't like Episode 8. So, do you worry that they're like, oh, well, then we'll give you Lando, we'll give you Palpatine, we'll give you this, like...
I think with it being the last movie of the saga, or whatever, that they really need to have that closure of the original trilogy.
Right.
You know, they need to be able to put it, for lack of better words, to rest. Right. The right way.
Kill the past, let it die if you have to.
Yeah, and maybe it's not a, you know, everyone dies type of situation, but I think maybe it could be a good closure. You know, hey, this is how it ends. You know, with the Emperor ruling the galaxy.
That's a great Emperor laugh right there.
Yeah.
You just want that Emperor shit, man.
I just like him. And maybe he's good after all. You never know. There's all kinds of
Okay, now wait a minute. If they make the Emperor light side all of a sudden,
the true balance of the Force.
If they do that, I'm done.
You're done.
I'm gonna go find wherever J.J. Abrams lives. I'm gonna find out his public appearance schedule, and I'm gonna dick punch him. So
don't say that.
I'm allowed to say whatever I want.
So
I just have to get bailed out of jail, and now people are gonna report this episode of the podcast as potential threat.
Let's put it this way: the trailer today sparked a lot of hope.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
for me it did.
It did for me as well.
Yeah.
It was, especially because like we were expecting it. We knew the trailer's coming. We knew the title reveal's coming, and the trailer still was that awesome. Like it didn't disappoint.
And it showed us almost nothing of consequence. That's the brilliance of it. It's a bunch of disjointed scenes to make for good visuals, and the Emperor cackle. That's the only thing that was like a big holy shit moment was the Emperor cackle.
And
how cool was that, by the way, when lights come up in the room and who's there on stage? Dude, tell me that was not amazing in person.
You know what's really funny?
Mic drops.
I don't think a lot of people knew.
No.
Because as soon as the lights came up...
I thought it was weird that everybody exited the stage before the trailer came on.
Oh.
I was like, that's weird. Usually they hang around, they wave.
Well, they kind of, but he said, we'll get out of your hair. But it was funny because, like, they play the trailer.
Yeah, you stupid cast people. Yeah. Don't bother us while we're watching your movie.
Yeah. We're tired of hearing you talk now. Just show us new Star Wars. But yeah, so, like, the lights come on, and he walks out, and I immediately was like, holy crap, that's Ian McDiarmid. But the room didn't erupt. So a lot of people didn't know. To the point where if I don't know how much of this they show, but if you could see the side screens, they cut to him after about like 20 seconds or something, but there wasn't really this big pop, I think, that they were expecting. All of a sudden, they cut to him, like a big close-up of him standing on stage, and then the place was like, oh my God! Like,
there was stunned silence.
Yeah, because people were like, well, what the hell is this? Like,
now, what I saw on the live stream was it seems like he tried to queue up for the line and then had to put it down again because he wasn't, like, set for it. Like, I don't know if he was just, like, overwhelmed in the moment.
Right.
But it totally seemed like he was about to deliver and he's like, hold on a second. Reset. All right. Roll it again.
That was... Dude, the room exploded when he said that. Yeah, exactly. Steph.
Totally drop. Awesome. Totally awesome.
Yeah, it was. I mean, being in the room for that was just like, it was just absolutely incredible. I mean, real quick, and then we'll get back to the trailer. When Kelly Marie Tran, when they went to talk to her, everybody in the whole place stood up. And it was by far the loudest and longest ovation of the whole thing. Yeah. And it was awesome.
Well deserved, yep.
Yeah, because, because all that stupid bullshit that happened, everybody's aware of that. It was so great to see everyone just be like, that's crap and we love you. And it was awesome. So that was really cool.
Isn't it weird how different the spirit of the fandom is in person versus online?
It's keyboard warriorism, man. You know?
And like you said, though, those same keyboard warriors are here in person, but they're not doing that.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother discussion for another time.
I wish people would remember what this is like and take that back with them to the internet. 'Cause
Well, you know my rule. If I wouldn't say it to somebody's face, I won't put it online. So, but yeah, so we get the title reveal, and we got the trailer.
A couple surprises.
And again, I think there's so many images coming out online now that we saw one today that was tweeted out that showed the shot in the Force Awakens of little girl Rey with the ship flying away, like basically when she was dumped.
Yep.
And then they had a side-by-side with the ship flying through the dark on that planet. It looks craggy, almost like Edu almost from Rogue One.
Yeah.
And it looked like the same ship. So you're like, oh shit, But, so I mean, there's stuff like that that's like everyone's speculating. But, okay, let's get into the real issue here. The Rise of Skywalker. Do you think that immediately just says Rey's a Skywalker, and they basically just screwed that whole thing, like Rey's parentage, now Rey's a Skywalker, boom.
Like that's Luke's daughter.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so because it's odd phrasing, isn't it? The Rise of Skywalker. Not the Skywalker, a Skywalker. Just like Skywalker is this broader, more general term.
Yeah.
Based on the way they structured that title.
And I agree with you.
So maybe it's not one specific person.
See, and I agree with you.
Maybe it's more of a movement.
I agree with you, but I don't understand, like, the rise of means, okay, it's this build. It's like, no, this is supposed to be the end. Like, so that title seems weird to me if that's the case. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like an ending title.
So I think that the Emperor created Anakin.
Okay.
And that would make the Emperor Rey's great-grandfather.
I mean, digging into the semantics of it
That's
a ton.
true, that's true.
How did the Emperor always refer to Anakin? Young Skywalker. Like, the Rise of Skywalker seems like something the Emperor would say. But he only ever talked about... Well, no, he talked about Luke, too, in Empire Strikes Back. So, like, the whole title sounds like something said from the Emperor's perspective.
Yeah, I don't know how to take it because it's... I'm 50-50 because I said earlier that you can't take anything said in the trailers or shown in the trailers as gospel in any way because it always turns out to be crap. So the Rise of Skywalker seems like, Rey's a Skywalker. So based on my logic about the trailers, that means that's not it at all.
Right.
But because of the backlash over the whole your parents are nobody from The Last Jedi, it very well could just be JJ saying, nope, she's a Skywalker, without having to put anything in the movie about it. And if it is in the movie, it's like 10 seconds. Oh, Luke's your dad. The title implies it, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know what to believe.
Well, if she's a Skywalker, we need to know how. I mean, you can't say she's a Skywalker and that's it.
Yeah.
We have to know how she's a Skywalker.
Yeah.
Star Wars titles are very good at having ambiguous meanings, though. Like the Phantom Menace. Well, what's the Phantom Menace? Is it Maul because no one knew he existed? Is it Sidious because no one knew the Sith were still around? The Last Jedi. Was that implying that the Jedi Order was ending? Or is it just referring to the most recent Jedi, which was Luke, and that was his movie? Even The Force Awakens is like, that was the voiceover with Snoke in The Force Awakens. By the way, that has been an awakening. Have you felt it? But that was all. I think in hindsight, it was talking about Rey, because basically the Force and the Jedi and the Sith, that whole clash was dormant for a while after Return of the Jedi, and this is the first time that someone has come by and really like caused that to reignite. So, the Rise of Skywalker, we think it's cut and dry, but like you said, it's pretty clear that you can't read into a title too much because they purposely choose titles that have multiple meanings.
Yeah. So let me pose a question to you guys that I posed at dinner. We never really got into. Do you think that the sequel trilogy is going to suffer from these kinds of story points? Like, Palpatine was never mentioned, even thought of, and now all of a sudden it's this big thing, Palpatine, like, he's back. Like, I mean, it doesn't seem, the story doesn't seem nearly as cohesive in this trilogy as it did with the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. So do you think that it's going to be a problem when it's all said and done?
Well, again, comparing it to Marvel, they had the whole Infinity Saga in mind as they were doing this. Like they planted the seeds with individual Infinity Stones. It was clear that they were building to something.
Right.
This does not feel like that. This feels like they made a movie, then made another one, and now they're stuck with, oh crap, we've got all these loose ends, and we've got to have a payoff that we never had in mind.
Right. Like reactionary.
Yeah, it seems a little haphazard.
My biggest hope for this is that Episode 9 ties the sequel trilogy together and makes it one big cohesive thing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like that right now.
Yeah.
And the other part of it for me is I hope that it makes Episode 8 enjoyable for people like you, Mark, who didn't like it. Like, what if Episode 9 all of a sudden makes Episode 8 make total sense to where you can go back and knowing where it sits within the story, you're like, oh, now that movie's great.
Well, first, for the record, it's not that I don't like the movie. I did like the movie. I didn't feel like it was on the same path as a Star Wars movie. Like it kind of like derailed a little bit or took a separate path.
We've talked about that before, actually, how it's a great movie on its own, but it doesn't do service to the larger saga.
There was a lot of good things in that movie. The whole bombing sequence, when she was there and she had to sacrifice herself. And, that was awesome.
Oh, wow.
It's all kinds of stuff in that movie that was awesome.
Wait till Steve hears that.
I was going to say, it's a good thing Steve's not here because, man, we might have a fist fight.
There was things in the movie that I liked. But there was a couple things that I didn't like about it because I felt like it took the heart of Star Wars and made light of it.
Let me turn that back on you, JT. Same thing. You're not a fan of Force Awakens. What if this movie, like you said, ties up the sequel trilogy and now you can view Force Awakens in a different light because it pays it off in 9?
I would love that. Because to me, it sucks that, like, there's a Star Wars movie that disappointed me, Like,
quick sidebar, that guy's got the shirt I wanted to make. A Novos with NO in red.
Yeah, by the way, don't buy a Novos, kids. I would love it. I mean, because The Force Awakens is a great movie, but it's my least favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I mean, and my feelings about it, I've been over it many times on the show. So I would love it if Episode 9 does that for me. Like, I could go back and now rewatch The Force Awakens and go, okay, now this kicks ass, because now I get it,
Yeah.
So I think this movie...
Hopefully it can tie it all together.
Yeah.
And make a majority of the fans happy.
I tell you what, if this does tie everything together, it's going to be a brilliant piece of cinema, because Revenge of the Sith had the burden of tying together the saga at that point, so it was the 6th movie and had to tie it all together, and I think it did a great job But that was having 6 movies to tie together. This is 9. Like, if you can pull that together, especially with how up and down the fans were about The Last Jedi, if it nails it, that's going to be brilliant.
This is the hardest of all the movies to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how this is going to play out because, as we said, there's so much ground to cover. They're still introducing new stuff. Like, there's still new characters. We got introduced to who's the new actress that we met today on stage?
Naomi.
Yeah, right. And her character's name is.
I don't think they said. I don't think they gave her name.
I think she did. It starts with an A, whatever it is. But anyway, yeah. So we've still got new characters we're meeting in this. So you've got to learn new characters and feel like those pay off. You're bringing back the Emperor out of nowhere. I mean, like we discussed, they've done so much to try to explain what happens after the Emperor dies, and now they're undoing that by saying, no, he's not dead. So there's so much ground to cover in one movie. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. I really don't.
That's why I was surprised that they're doing like the whole, like, Palpatine's back. Like, it just seems like it would have been better to focus on the new characters and worry about how Rey and Kylo are going to finish things out.
Just let Kylo be the big bad guy in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and, you know, hey, speculation about who he was body slamming in the forest, you know, looked like a Knight of Ren, because he was the person he was smashing was dressed like him, and the stormtroopers were shooting on his side, and we know that there are red stormtroopers in this, so now...
I thought the ones in that scene were white, though.
Yeah, but that's they were fighting for Ren. They're going in the same direction. Now, I just thought of something on the spot. The red stormtroopers, which are basically confirmed.
Yeah.
Now that we know Palpatine's back.
Yeah.
The Royal Guards.
Yep.
Maybe he's controlling the Knights of Ren.
I just completely nailed it.
Palpatine runs the Knights of Ren.
It's going to be the NWO. Because you've got...
Wolfpack.
Yep, see? Nailed it. There it is. It's WCW all over again. The NWO. You got the white side, and then you got the red side.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you still got WCW alongside that. So you've got First Order, you've got New World Order, and then you've got Resistance.
Yep.
See?
Care
3
to
factions.
elaborate on that?
Boom.
Yeah, we just figured it out.
It's 90s wrestling all over again.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what they're doing. J.J. Abrams is paying homage. And you know what's even more proof? Because what they showed in the trailer is Kylo Ren body slamming somebody.
Yep.
It's a false count anywhere match. Episode 9 is nothing but a 2.5-hour false count anywhere match.
And we haven't seen Sting or Eric Bischoff in a long time. Maybe they were filming.
Yep, see?
There you go.
I'm glad you figured it all out.
We just cracked that nut right there.
But
Yes.
no, but seriously, I mean, the Red Troopers would make sense with Palpatine. So, that's Salacious Crumb in the background, by the way.
I'll tell you what, the inclusion of the Emperor is what really throws all of this into complete chaos.
Yeah.
If it was only new characters in the teaser trailer, even if not saying that Emperor can't be in it, but the fact that they already revealed that he's going to be by putting it in the teaser trailer, now this is the whole reason we're recording this episode, right? Because it's not just, oh, it's the next chapter in the sequel trilogy. It's, oh my God, the Emperor's back.
Yep.
It's bizarre, man. I don't think anyone had a clue that this was going to happen. You read the spoilers, right, JT? You keep up on the rumors?
Yep.
Were there any rumors of the Emperor being in this?
No.
Yeah.
Even JJ himself, someone talked to him today, and they tweeted out that JJ couldn't believe and was absolutely incredulous about the fact that Ian McDiarmid being on set never leaked. As tight as things were, he still couldn't believe it didn't get out about Ian McDiarmid.
That's really good.
Yeah. So like I say, that makes me wonder what else is coming, you know?
Could be a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, it was the Tantive 4 that looked like it was in like the mossy garage, and the blown up part of the Death Star we saw. So it's, you know, you wonder about stuff like that. Like, was that on Yavin? Or, you know, was that on Endor? Like, was it a whole new planet? Like, all these different kinds of things.
Well, based on the cadence, we'll have about 2.5 months to obsess over this before Comic-Con.
Yep.
And then we'll get another trailer. And that'll throw everything else into chaos all over again, basically.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, it should be interesting. Day 1 of Celebration is in the books, and we lost our minds.
Yep.
And our wallets.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I didn't lose my wallet. I just lost a lot of what's in my wallet.
Yeah.
What's in your wallet?
That's a good story
Yes.
for another time.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, well, thanks for checking out a bonus episode of the Nerfherder Council, guys. We appreciate you so much. Any of you listening, if you're at Celebration, feel free to hit us up on Twitter or at Facebook, and we'd love to meet up with you. Otherwise, you know, maybe at some point we'll find listener 23. Who knows? So, you know, thanks for checking out another episode of the Nerfherder Council. Till then, I'm your host, JT, at Dogpound Jedi. He's AJ.
At Drake Adams, 579.
And that's our buddy Mark.
From Baltimore.
You know it. AFC North style, buddy. And we'll catch you next time.
Go Ravens.